Hey friends, so in this lesson, we'll integrate password authentication into our existing application. If this is your first stop into the user authentication tutorial, welcome, and you can have a look at the other types of authentications that we have implemented. So let's proceed. This one is pretty straightforward. In Firebase, let's enable email password and save. Then back to our project, we'll create a new file called onboarding password.dat. Let's define our state class and call it password authentication. We'll return a column and our children will consist of one, a text widget, password authentication. We'll style it with a font weight .bold and font size 12. Into our onboarding class, we'll pass our new class. Let's import it. There we have it. Now let's continue designing our column. Adding some padding at the top. Great. Next, we'll have a text field. We'll define a text editing controller and pass it to the text field. Move const. And we're going to set a hint text. Enter email address. Let's create another text editing controller for password. Give it a hint text. Enter password. Then we'll have our button, elevated button. And the child will hold a text widget that says sign in. Great. Let's just align it to the right. In our func mixin class, let's define our function. Our function will return a data type of user credential. We'll call it sign in with email and password. And it will have an async keyword. Let's define our await operation, which will be firebase auth.instance that sign in with email and password. So our function needs two arguments, the email and the password, both of type string. So in our elevated button, we'll create a try catch. Proceed to define a variable of type user credential, which will receive the results from sign in with email and password function. We're importing our mixin class and extending it. Async. Great. So once we have the credentials, we'll log in, or we'll navigate to the welcome screen. So currently for email and password, unless you're updating the information, right now we're just signing in for the first time. So the display name will be empty and the photo URL, but we're just going to pick from it and handle that later. Then we're going to have set the firebase auth exception, where we specify when we get different codes, we print out a specific message to the user. So once unique code is user not found from firebase auth, if we get that, we just print out no user found for that email. And if we get the code wrong password, we define a message to the user, wrong password provided for that user. Then the remaining exceptions I will get will go through the catch section. So e.toString false. So let's refresh our application, reload, enter our email and password and sign in. So we're receiving wrong password received. Let's try again. Wrong password provided. This is because we already have a user in Firebase, but we're using a different type of provider. From our previous lesson, we decided to sign in with GitHub. So let's delete that and try again. If we sign in, it will tell us no user found, which is correct. So when we have no user found, we have to manage sign up now, which is the top button at the top of the screen. So let's create for it a class of its own, which extends a stateful widget, and design the screen on where the user will be able to sign up for the first time. So we'll return a scaffold, so that will be a whole new screen. Set the app bar, then our body will have a column, and our children will consist of a text saying create an account, so we want to go to our button sign up and navigate to that class that we've created so that you can see our design. Great. Now let's continue designing our sign up screen. Font weight bold. Define our text field. Text editing controller for email, pass it on our text field. Remove the const. Define our hint text. Enter email address. Then define the other text editing controller for the password. Enter password. Obscure text to true. Then let's design our elevated button, which will hold a child of text widget saying sign up. Great. So let's just wrap it with a sized box so that we define the height and the width. give it a padding at the top. Let's set a padding to the whole screen, 20. Great. Now back to our mixin class, let's create a function for sign up. So we'll have a function called sign up with email and password, and we'll pass two arguments, the email and the password of data type string, and run the firebase auth.instance. Let's create user with email and password. So let's pass that function to our button, handle our try and catch. Let's extend our mixin class. So if we succeed in signing up, we won't tell the user now sign in with your new credentials. Let's handle firebase auth exception. So if the code is weak password, we'll send a message to the user that the password provided is too weak. Else if the code is email already in use, tell the user the account already exists for that email. Else the rest of the errors will be caught in our catch section. So let's reload our application, click on sign up, enter our, let's update our controller, password controller. Great. So click on sign up, let's enter our email address and our credentials, sign up. The password provided is too weak. Okay, so let's update our password, sign up. Now sign in with your new credentials. Great. So if we go back and log in, and sign in, so there's a null checker error involved because the display name is actually empty. So let's try that again. Let's handle that. So if it's empty, just leave it empty. Let's try again. Wrong password, so it's working properly. Let's just set the obscure text to true. Let's try again. Sign in, and there we are, welcome screen, and we are able to collect the email address but not the display name. But Firebase provides a function, or Firebase Auth provides a function for that. We can see ourselves in the Firebase section, and our provider is email. So that's great. So we've been able to authenticate a user by signing in. First we decided to sign in, but we do not exist, so we have decided to sign up and been able to sign in again. Now we want to handle the last part, which is signing out. It's quite simple. So it's a simple function where we just run firebase auth.instance.signout and simply done. So if you go to our welcome screen, let's just call that function. Sign out. That will navigate us back to the onboarding screen. We can't see our text button, so let's set the style. So when you click sign out, we are navigated back and we are signed out from Firebase. So I hope you found this useful. Please don't forget to subscribe and I see you on the next one.